So my name is Maryam. I'm from Afghanistan. I also lived in Pakistan as a refugee from the Taliban. I wore hijab, what some people call a headscarf, for about 19 years. This was not a choice. It was enforced on me, not by my family, but by the community that I lived in, the schools that I attended, and some places that I worked in. When I questioned why I had to cover, they said it's a physical protection from men. I hated wearing hijab. I felt imprisoned by it. In 2014, I moved to the US. I took off my hijab, and for the first time that I walked down the street, hiked and climbed mountains without the headscarf, I really felt free. But in the Afghan community, both in Afghanistan and in the US, I was told I was a bad woman. I was told I was shaming my family. Then I found out about this trend. A World Hijab Day is a day celebrated by feminists, women's rights advocates, and progressive liberals throughout the Western world in an attempt to cast hijab as something that's empowering and representative of freedom and choice. Brands like Dolce & Gabbana and Tommy Hilfiger are seen trying to fetishize, romanticize, and normalize hijab. Nike introduced hijab sportswear, and there are hijab-wearing Barbies for children. Alicia Keys romanticized the hijab under the banner of diversity. Huffington Post launched a hashtag photo campaign, Hijab to Me, featuring women wearing hijabs, ironically, as an expression of their individuality. One of the most well-known and prominently cited posters from this year's Women's March in Washington, D.C. featured a woman wearing a star-spangled hijab. I find this trend deeply concerning. I believe it's time for an honest assessment as a community, as a culture, as to what hijab stands for. To me, it represents a pious purity culture, one in which women must cover themselves so as not to incite passion among men. In many Muslim majority countries, this ideology limits women's access to education, work, and healthcare, and silences women's voices and presence in public society. Women are dying in Afghanistan.